Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us Across the Fence. I'm Fran Stoddard. The sport of boxing dates back to the ancient world. Caesars, kings, pharaohs alike were all fight fans. From its bare-knuckle days to bouts that shook the world, boxing is both pastime and, in the right hands, a path to self-discovery. Keith Silva met a fighter who uses boxing to train the body as well as the mind. One note: our story was filmed prior to the pandemic. Later, we'll learn how COVID-19 has impacted a sport as up close and personal as boxing. Here's Keith with our story.
Lucien Benway is a boxer and a bit of a philosopher.
The cool part about boxing is that once you learn that presence of mind, that translates to every other part of your life.
Benway grew up playing sports. As he got older, he'd meet his dad at the gym to exercise. One day, as his dad was finishing a workout, Benway explored the gym and ran smack dab into his destiny.
I think I was 20 years old. There was a room and there was a ring and there was some heavy bags, a couple of speed bags, a double end bag. And I was like, oh, well, maybe I'll try hitting the heavy bag, just kind of mess around. Luckily for me, there was a coach in there, and he asked me if I wanted to do some work. And so I put the gloves on. We did some work on the mitts. I didn't realize that there was something that I could know nothing about that had to do with my body like that. And so I instantly fell in love, and I haven't stopped boxing since.
Within a few years, Benway was boxing competitively. He was named the Golden Gloves Northern New England champion in 2008. He finished his amateur career with a record of 12-3. Benway is no longer a competitive boxer, but he's still in the gym. At Ethos Athletics in South Burlington, he's the general manager, a group fitness teacher, and a personal trainer.
So they work with each other.
His ability to teach even the most rank amateurs, like this newbie boxing in business casual and socks,
That was better, yeah.
speaks to what Benway's learned from what's been called the sweet science.
Yes, there it is. There we go. There we go. I think the average person sees two people just coming together and trying to take each other's heads off. What they don't see is the chess match that happens behind that, right? There's a lot of things that happen. In boxing, we've been teaching people to be present for ages because you don't really have another choice, right? Because if you're not present, well then, it's not a good situation for you, right? So it's a very deeper science when it comes to like what actually happens in the ring. But then you have everything that happens outside of the ring. And I think that that's, for me, that's what got me, is that there's so much more that happens when you're just training for both physical and mental benefits.
All that said, even the most present puncher is going to get hit hard.
When I train fighters, we work a lot with defense before we actually get into sparring to make sure that we're as safe as possible. It depends on where you're getting hit, how you're getting hit, whether it's a clean shot, am I rolling with the shot, or am I just didn't see it at all. If you hit me in the gut and give me a gut check and it looks like I'm gonna puke, well, it gives you more of a reason to come in and try to finish me, versus like if you gut check me and I'm really good at hiding it, maybe you won't come in and take my head off, and that's a good thing for me.
When he's not training boxers, Benway works with cancer survivors through Steps to Wellness, a group exercise program based at the UVM Cancer Center.
Has this program improved your physical abilities?
He also works with Vermont seniors in the Enhanced Fitness Program, an effort sponsored by the UVM Medical Center. Young or old, Benway brings his boxer's brain, what he calls presence in the ring, to every aspect of his work.
Most people don't injure themselves training. They don't injure themselves on the heavy bag. They injure themselves when they go home and they bend over to tie their boot or their shoe and they bent incorrectly, and so they slipped a disc because they're not present in the moment. Every time you box, like whether it's with another person or you're on the heavy bag or you're shadow boxing or you're training on whatever specific piece it is, you'll learn something more about yourself. The way we bring boxing to people is hey, this is gonna make you stronger, this is gonna make you faster, this is gonna put you in a better aerobic state, and we're gonna increase your cardiovascular conditioning and make your heart a little bit stronger.
Faster, stronger, and smarter too.
In my opinion, there is no better way to train your entire body other than boxing, and which is why that's why we do it here, right? And we do it without hitting people, but because it checks off so many of the boxes. You get your legs, your hips, your torso, your shoulders, your back, like everything works. But you also have to have mental clarity, and there's a lot to work on technique and focus. And so you get the best of both worlds. Boxing is for everybody, and that's why I love it so much. Yeah.
The benefit to a sport, as bruising as boxing, is that it gives you a fighting chance against, perhaps, your toughest opponent. You. In South Burlington, I'm Keith Silva with Across the Fence.
Thanks, Keith. A great story that, of course, was filmed before the pandemic. To find out how COVID-19 has changed boxing and physical fitness, Lucien has joined us virtually, of course. Welcome, Lucien.
Hey, thank you.
So there's so much to talk about, and in a minute we'll learn some tips for staying active. But let's start with what guidelines have been put in place at gyms to combat COVID-19, and how has this affected training?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, as we all know, back in March 2020, everything was shut down. So when we were forced to close our gym to keep everyone safe, we at Ethos, we transitioned to everything completely virtual. We actually started hosting live classes on Instagram as a way to keep people in our community active, because we knew how important it was for people to keep moving. So we hosted classes online for free on Instagram Live for several months for people.
Right.
Now that we're actually able to open things up, it's masks on.
Sure.
We come to the gym, everyone signs in, they take their own temperature, hand sanitizing, and masks on. And then when they're actually in their physical space, if they're able to keep 6 feet away from the people around them, then they're allowed to take their mask off. But once they're transitioning through the space, masks
back on.
Yeah.
So in the video, we saw you actually training at another gym, the Combat Fitness in Winooski. Are boxers also required to wear masks, and what are the rules around social distancing when you're in the ring?
Yeah, exactly. It's the exact same thing. Come in, sign in, sanitize, masks on, and if you're not able to stay 6 feet away from people, then masks on and keep yourself and keep everyone safe.
All right. So switching gears, let's talk about your career with cancer survivors. How is this program, Steps to Wellness Rehabilitation, being delivered during the pandemic?
Yeah, so again, we know how important it is for people to stay active, and we knew immediately how important it was to keep these cancer survivors moving. And so we've transitioned to a completely online platform as well. When you come into the program, you still get your MD and your PT eval, but everything's done over Zoom, kind of like we're doing today.
Yeah. And what do you focus on with that program? Is it keeping people active, or what other things are the focus of that program?
The main components are strength, balance, and cardiovascular fitness. And of course, there's our challenges now that we're all in our homes. But we've been really creative in how we attack each one of those elements, and still try to get the most out of the program.
I bet. So how is it for you as a fitness trainer to teach virtually? You know, do you feel the benefits of the program outweigh the lack of in-person interaction?
Yeah, so we were really skeptical early on, both at Ethos and at Steps Wellness, into how this was gonna compare to when everyone's in person, because there's a lot of elements that change. Right? If I'm at home, I may or may not have access to the same types of weight and equipment as people do when they're in the gym. But what we've actually found is that when people are forced to stay home and quarantine away from others, this virtual platform has been a savior for a lot of people, because you're taking folks that are at home, isolating, don't have a lot of physical contact. And now we're able to bring a bunch of people together, put them on screen, have these conversations move around and be active with other people. So what we're finding is that, while the very quantitative benefits of like, okay, I can do this many reps and this many sets at this weight, and now I can progress to this. Now these subjective benefits of how happy are you? What are the connections that you're making? We think that it is increased tenfold from what we were seeing before. It's really amazing.
That's really fantastic. And you also work with seniors through the Enhanced Fitness program. It's another UVM Medical Center program. This class has also gone virtual. So what's the take-home message with that program? Pretty much the same thing, or is that nuanced differently?
I mean, there are, of course, some different nuances. It's a different program. Enhanced Fitness has a very specific structure that they follow. But it is the same thing. Connect with people around you, stay active, stay moving, work on your strength, work on your balance, and work on your cardiovascular fitness.
So do people stay motivated? I mean, how do you keep them motivated if they're at home and they're loving this? So that's one thing, to get them to turn on and be on a Zoom. But what are your tips?
Well, okay. So everyone was really skeptical at the early beginnings of all this, and they came in, and so now it's less about convincing people to get on the Zooms, and now it's more about how do we fit more Zooms in, because these people they really love connecting like this. In terms of folks that are not active on Zooms, they don't have any classes to go to, your fitness it's not a cost right now. It's actually you're actually investing.
Yeah.
Right? So in the same way that we put money in a 401k and the Roth IRAs and all those other different retirement accounts, every time you work out, every time you get your heart rate up and you get sweating, that is an investment into your future. And we know, especially now from the pandemic, that the better physical shape you are, the better outcome you can potentially have. And of course, we all want to live long, healthy, happy lives. And so to do that, we have to be investing in ourselves. So
awesome.
Think long term.
Lucien, it's so great. And I love the being present. As president in the ring, you also have to be present in your life. And that message is also so important for all of us. Lucien, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much. If it's okay, I just want to say one thing. At the beginning, during that video, you heard me talk about going to the gym with my father. He just lost his battle with COVID. He was probably the most physically active 65-year-old I've ever met. Certainly an inspiration to me. So please, everyone, stay active, stay safe, and be present, and enjoy your family and loved ones.
Lucien, thank you so much. I'm so sorry to hear about your father. You take good care.
Thank you. You too.
And thank you for joining us across the fence. I'm Fran Stoddard. Stay well.